Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, my name is Eve. This is Eve's Creation Paint Party, and it is How To Tuesday. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to teach you what I know so your paintings can get that much better. There's no actual painting. You saw the canvas was blank because we're practicing tonight. Yes, we are, and it's all about texture. I'm going to show you how to make it look like there's texture. I'm going to show you how to put actual texture onto your paintings. So we're all about the grooves and the moves and all of that happy stuff. I just want to show you my current situation here. So I went to, pour the red paint, and yeah, so that happened. That happened. Hello, April. Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. So let me know if you're practicing with me tonight. Let me know if anyone's practicing with me tonight. And let me know if you're new to the fam so we can give you a warm Eve's Creations family welcome. Hello, 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 Tina B. Hi, sweetheart. I'm going to show you my handy dandy table. Okay, so let's get that taken care of. We've got our brushes, all sorts of stuff. I'll let you know what I'm using when I'm using it. Same colors every single party. White, yellow, red, blue, and black. And iced coffee tonight. What? That's right. Made myself some iced coffee. And I don't know where Butters went. Hey, Butters. Butters. Here he comes. Say hi to your fans, Butters. Say hello, hello, hello. You're such a good boy. Butters is in the house. Of course. There he is, the little cutie. All right. So, got that all out of the way. Hello, 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 Gloria. How you doing, lovey? Right? So, say hello, hello, hello. If you're joining with us, I'm going to put you guys in your handy-dandy holder. Any of you watching my, paying attention to my make-em-ups journey, I went with orange tonight. Oh, yeah. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can see it, but it's all about the orange. Close up. See? I even got sparkles. I cracked myself up. Anyway, handy-dandy holder. Here you guys go. All right, we're in the handy-dandy holder, and we're going to learn about texture. So, to show you guys texture, I figured we'll do like a little log cabin painting. A little log cabin painting with, some mountains that have texture on them. Some trees, wooden cabin that would have texture on it. So, there you go. That's what we're going to do tonight. All right. So I'm on a 16 by 20. 20 this way, 16 straight up and down. Whatever you guys are practicing on, you're practicing on. I just got hit with some more red paint. It's on my sweatshirt somewhere. I'm going to look like, now it's on my thumb. I don't know where this wet spot is, but it's around here somewhere because it's getting on me. I think it's on the front of my sweatshirt. I literally just got 2 brand new spots of paint on me. Look at this, and right here. Whoop, there it is. I'm gonna look like a Halloween character eventually here. Pretty soon. I'm gonna look like a Halloween character. All right. So let's get started. I'm gonna swirl tap that big boy. Hello, 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 Yolanda. How you doing, sweetie? California in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Hi, Joanne. How you doing, hon? Hello, 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 sweetheart. And I'm going to definitely turn up the AC because it's like 6,000 degrees in here. It's like Hades in here right now. I swear you get older and your thermostat's broken. Seriously, 6,000%. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so all my videos are kid-friendly. You guys watch comments. I'll try to watch this thing. Stars is enabled. The PayPal link is posted there, and for support, so you guys are all set. All right, let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Let's get attacking. Let's get attacking this canvas here. All right, so I'm swirl tap dabbing big boy. He is a 1-inch flat, and we're just gonna do blue and white. We're just gonna do blue and white. All right, blue and white on here, just to throw a sky on here real quick, like. All right, and and you can make this look very textured, like there's clouds and stuff in it. And the way you do that is you just put it on and you leave it alone. So I'm literally Yes, April. Yes. Hello, 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 Jinsey. How you doing, sweetheart? I see you snuck in there. Oh, wait, Peggy's here. I'm missing people. I wasn't paying attention. Hold up. All right, we got Peggy. Peggy's hanging out with us. Hello, 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 Peggy. All right. Who else did I miss? I missed a bunch of people. Hello, 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 Jinsey. How you doing, love bug? She's getting ready to start painting, healing up. All right, April is here. Hello, 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 April. And Tina's telling me if I wasn't wearing a sweatshirt, I wouldn't be so hot. And Rosemary is hanging out with us. Hello, 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 Rosemary. How you doing, hun? What's going on? And did I get April? Yeah, April's on top. All right, we're all caught up. We're all caught up. So if you guys want to, yeah, you lived right near me, Rosemary. Then you moved. All right, so I'm grabbing a bunch of white here, and I'm kerplunking in blue. See that? And I'm just going to throw it on the canvas. All right, when I throw it on the canvas, I'm going to do like a swipe, swipe, and then I'm going to leave it alone. All right, quick swipe, swipe, leave it alone. And see how you're getting this effect of it being cloudy in the sky? So you're adding... Listening as you drive, Sue. Okay, be careful, lovey. Be careful, love bug. All right, and we got Debbie is here. Hello, 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 Debbie. Hi, Sue. Okay, so Marie is here. Hold on. I don't want to drop my palette like last time. Hold on. All right, we got Marie here, Sue, and Debbie. Okay. So, there we go. Okay, back to this. So, like I was saying, is if you just turn around, the easiest way to create texture or, you know, separated layers in your painting is to just kerplunk and paint. So, grab your white, grab your blue, slap it on there, okay? And then you just kind of do a few swipes, doot-doot, and keep it moving. That's it. That's it. And you're going to get all this lovely separation, and it's going to look like darker parts and lighter parts and all that happy stuff. And you didn't do anything. You didn't do a thing. All you did was kerplunk your brush and paint and do a few swipes. And this is the part that takes oh, hello, lovey. So this is the part that takes, it's hard to do, and it's definitely hard to do if you're a control freak. It's hard to do to just leave it alone. Do not touch it again. That's the hard part, because we want to just keep messing with stuff. We don't know how to keep, we don't know how to keep well enough alone. So the hard part of this whole thing has nothing to do with the painting, has nothing to do... Jinsey doesn't want to go to the principal for being late. Has nothing to do with your paint. I'm literally flick. Does it flick? The hard part comes with leaving it alone. Leaving it alone. That is the hard part. Because we want to keep messing with things and keep making things a certain way. And if you keep playing with it, you're going to wind up losing all of that texture. Alright? So my brush is clean. And the only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly do a little push and smooth. Just very lightly. Very light, hardly touching the canvas. I'm just doing a little push and smooth so it gets rid of those like squares, because when you do the brush like this, you'll get like a little square edge like that. So you just go very lightly from like one end to the other, hardly touching your canvas, and it'll get rid of those little square shapes. Hi, Debbie. Facebook is hiding my events from you. I'm telling you, that Facebook, I don't know what to say, Debbie. It's just, it's a terrible thing. But I'm always on my page, hon. So even if you don't see event, if it's a Tuesday or Friday, you go on my page and that's where I'll be. Okay, sweetheart? So the trick is to leave it alone. And look at, Look at, I'll give you a close-up. 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 See? See the texture in my sky? See that? See the dark and the light and the medium areas? And how it's all soft and sweeping. And, you know, there's no little square things. There's none of those. Because I very lightly just brushed over it. And there you go. So this is the easiest way. And pretty much the key to be able to do stuff that's textured. So it all basically stems off of this. When you're using a paintbrush, notice the word paintbrush. You kept searching until you found me. Awesome, Debbie. Thank you so much. This is the key to texture, is to put it on and leave it alone. Doesn't matter if you're putting it on thin, thick, whatever. Don't overmix. Slap it on there. Leave it alone. Aw, thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I threw a box in it, I don't know, last week or something. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. So, there you go. Alright, so now I'm going to turn around and we need filler in here, right? We need stuff in here, okay? So, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put Big Boy in the water, and I want to show you, actually, I can't show you that yet. Alright, let me grab a fluffy. Okay, so I'm going to grab a fluffy. So Fluffy, he's just a stiff beat up brush if you didn't get a brush set from me yet. Okay, Fluffy is great because his bristles go in every direction, right? He does not make a flat piece like Big Boy does. He's just a big old mess. So Fluffy's great. I'm swirl tap dabbing him, and I'm going to smash him up in my paper towel a little bit to get the bristles even more all over the place. Okay, see, they're like all different directions. And he's great for adding texture because you can really get those separations of color. With Big Boy, you kind of kerplunk, and swipe. With this guy, you know, you can get that separation of color, but still play with it a little bit more. Alright, so for down here, I'm going to grab my white, I'm going to grab my yellow, and I'm going to grab my blue. Okay, see that? See that big old mess on there? Let's make messes. I already made a mess with my red paint. Might as well make some more messes. Okay? And I'm going to sweep. And I'm pressing a little harder. But see how, since his bristles go in all these different directions, you get smaller sections of the color changes. Unlike up here, they're thicker. This gives you smaller because the bristles are sticking out this way, that way, whatever way. And everywhere a bristle's sticking out is where you're going to get the color. Okay? So, again, same method though, but changing the brush up to Fluffy, it'll give you a different texture look. Okay? But I'm still just sweeping and keeping it moving. And you are, yes, you are going to use a lot of paint. A whole lot of paint. A whole lot of paint. Yes. A whole lot. Okay? And then the trick is to leave it alone. So I am out of, I'm going to grab my blue. And, you know, you could play with, like once you have some color on here, you can play by just grabbing like one of the colors and just, you know, swipe that in, and then you'll get pieces that are that color, close to that color. And if you just sweep it in like that, you can see my hand. I'm just going like this. I'm just sweeping. I'm not doing anything special. I'm really not. You know, I'm just sweeping my hand across. I have to get more paint. So, am I using more paint? Absolutely, 6,000%. But the effect the effect is cool. You know, the effect is cool. You're going to get all this separation of color. You're going to get it having a different texture to it, right? Because all texture, right? How can... All right, guys, let's think about this. Let's wrap our little noggins around this for a minute. If we were to explain texture to somebody, how would you explain texture? All right, let me ask you guys. All right, so if you're talking to a little kid and you say, Donna, I love it. That's awesome. That sticker's like perfect. And you were to explain texture, how would you explain texture? How would you explain it? Like, what words would you use to explain it? I'm just curious to see what you guys come up with. Gritty and sandy. Yes, Jinsey, I like that. Gritty and sandy. Okay. Those are some good words, right? Looks like you can grab it. True. True. Looks like you can grab it. So it's not all flat and smooth, right? It has grit, right? I like that word, Jinsey. Gritty and sandy. And did I get you, Donna, did I get you on my list? I did not get you on my list. Looks like you can grab it. All right. So for me, rough. Nice, Debbie. I like that. Rough. So we got gritty. We got rough. We have, looks like you can grab it because it's like, looks like it's like coming off of the canvas. Okay, dimensional. Nice, Jinsey. I like that word too. Dimensional. All right. So when I go to describe texture, sometimes it's easier to describe something by saying what it isn't, right? So texture is not smooth, right? It's not smooth. Like the words you guys came up with, gritty and rough, okay? So texture is not smooth, all right? Another thing is that texture has, it's not flat. Roughness. I like that, Donna. Roughness. Okay? So texture is not flat. Alright? Kind of like the words you guys did. Three-dimensional. Looks like you can grab it. Right? All of those words. Okay? So it's not smooth. And it's not flat. And that's how I would explain texture. So, texture, for you to achieve texture in a painting, depth. Nice. I like that word too. Great word. For you to achieve texture in a painting, you have to make it look not smooth and not flat. But you're working with a smooth medium because paint is smooth, and you're working with a flat surface. So you're trying to create something that is three-dimensional, that has grit, that looks like it's coming right off of the canvas. You're trying to create that with two pieces that are the exact opposite of that. Because paint is smooth and your canvas is flat. So there's certain things to do that you can do to create something to look like it has texture, to look like it's popping off of the canvas, to look like it has grit, to not be smooth and not be flat, right? So, and this is, hello, Darlene. This is, and I'm going to show you through the rest of this video, different ways to accomplish that. Now, what I did up here and what I'm doing down here is the easiest way, right? It's simple, it's straightforward. Doesn't matter if wet or dry. if what's wet or dry. My canvas is dry, my paint is wet. I don't, some people wet their canvas first. I don't do that. I go right to a dry canvas. I go right to a dry canvas. So, but my brush, I did wet my brush. I did wet my brush, and my paint is smooth. It's not all goopy. Okay? And all I'm doing is having this separation of color, and I'm leaving it alone. Scotland, I would love to go to Scotland. I'm not Welsh, I'm not Scottish, I don't have any of that nationality in me, but I would like to go Scotland. I would like to go to Scotland. Actually, on the social media, I actually follow a guy that's from Scotland, and his accent is out of this world. I can't understand a word he's saying. Going over the paint on there is you get more paint. No, Joanne. So what you want to do is you want to put it on and leave it alone. So the only times I'm going over where I just painted is if I want to do like a really, really light, like, you know, like maybe I have a glob or something I don't want. So this brush, extremely light touch, and I'm just going to sweep like that. And it's just to get rid of like that little piece of something. You don't want to keep painting over it, because if you keep painting over it, what's going to happen is it's all going to blend together because it is wet. And when it all blends together, it starts to look smooth. Okay? So you do not want to do that. So I'm going to put Fluffy in the water. And obviously I made a mess. We need this to dry. But without it being dry, hello, Carolyn. How you doing, sweetheart? Without it drying, I want to show you something. Okay? So, you can do this mess, right? This big old mess going on here. And, it's a sponge. Very exciting, right? It's a sponge. So, you guys know, some of you probably already know this, right? Sponging. Doing, you know, just tapping with the sponge, and it makes the paint lift off and do all those like little peaks and stuff like that. And that creates a texture. So, that's exactly what this is. And I'm going to go on my wet paint. And I want back here to be a little softer because it's further in the distance. So I'm just taking my sponge and I'm taking it dry. And I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to grab it with the sponge. Now, some of this paint is already dry. So it's kind of doing this really tacky thing, but that's okay because this is about texture anyway. So it's alright if it gets tacky because it's just actually physically putting texture on my canvas. So you just take your sponge, and if you want it tacky, if you literally want the paint to lift off the canvas, see that? It's literally putting texture on my canvas. And if you want actual texture where you're manipulating the paint, this is happening because the paint was almost dry. See that? That is happening because the paint was almost dry. If I do this on really wet paint, it'll soften it, but it won't cause those little like bumpy doos. But since this is almost dry and it's just a little tacky, I go with the sponge and I'm just tapping. I can make this whole thing have all this like little texture pieces to it. So I went a little overboard. I wanted some smoother spaces, but I just started having fun with this thing. So now the whole thing's going to be textured. So I just started having fun. And, you know, this This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, one of the easiest ways to actually put physical texture on your canvas. To literally put where it is rough to touch once it dries. Okay? So, you guys all know about the sponge. My comments aren't scrolling. I don't know why. Hello, Katie. How you doing, sweetheart? And I have this like comment that's just stuck on my screen, and it's not going anywhere, and I don't know why it's doing that either. So I'm going to throw this sponge in a cup of water so it doesn't get rock hard on me. And the next thing I want to do is I want to show you guys a mountain. Right? So we're going to do a mountain. We're going to do a mountain. But I'm going to do a mountain with my palette knife. Yeah, with a palette knife. Okay? So, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee first. Okay. So, palette knives. Palette knives are the best ways to create texture on your painting, because the paint doesn't blend on a palette knife. Like a brush has bristles, and the paint's all in the bristles. So the more you smush and push on those bristles, the more the paint is mixing on the palette knife. Hello, Sue Elizabeth. Is mixing in the brush. That doesn't happen because it's just on the surface of metal. Have I ever painted on slate? I don't know if I've ever painted on slate. I painted like a few things for outside, but I don't remember if they were slate or concrete. So, I'm going to grab the Bob Ross shaped one. Hello, Lisa V. Okay, the infamous Bob Ross shaped palette knife. We're going to grab that. Lisa V is in the house. Oh, yeah, 6,000%. Okay, and I need more yellow paint. And usually you would use this with a flat palette, but I don't feel like cleaning a flat palette. So I'm not getting one. Alright, so palette knife. And I'm going to grab yellow. And I'm going to grab red. And I'm just dabbing it here on this little pocket. I'm going to grab the blue. I'm going to grab the white. Let's throw some black. Heck, let's just use every color that's on my palette. Why not? Let's just do it. Let's see what we get. It doesn't matter, right? So I'm just tapping this a little bit so it still stays separated. See how all the colors are still separated on here? So that is another, that's one of the key things. Having your colors be separated to create texture. And we're going to come right in here and we're going to throw a mountain in here. Alright, so with a very light touch, because the harder I press it, the more the paint's going to smush together. And we don't want the paint to smush together because we want texture. Okay, so very light touch. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to start cutting in some sort of mountain shape here. Okay, and now I'm pressing a little harder because there's hardly any paint left on the knife, and I just kind of want to get that shape in there. Alright, so I'm going to go back in. Hi Tasneem, how you doing, sweetheart? Hello. I want to go back in, and I'm going to kerplunk my knife in here. Alright, I'm going to scoop some out. So we're not getting technical. We're not worrying about getting a little roll on here. We're not look, it's just kerplunked paint. That's all there is to it. And I'm going to come back in here, and I'm just going to pull with my knife, flip it over, and then I'm going to do some, I'm just going to drag to fill in Now I'm using a very light touch. What kind of touch? Light touch. I don't know what's going on with my comments tonight. They're all over the place. And nope, I can't get rid of, there's like this one comment on the bottom I can't get rid of, and it's in the way of you guys posting stuff. So if you're asking me something or you posting something and I miss it, just post it again, okay? Because I don't know what's going on. Alright, so there was yellow in here that didn't mix in before, so now it's grabbing some yellow with that paint. But I don't care. I don't care. Right, so then I'm going to get pieces with more yellow in it. And like I said, it's an extremely light touch. And I just keep grabbing more paint. That's all I'm doing is grabbing more paint. And we're just going to fill this in. And if you see me, I'm doing little wiggly doos. And if I push hard, this is going to wind up smushing all together. See how I pushed hard and it went smooth right there? Compared to over here where I wasn't pushing that hard, and then I pushed hard, and see how that went smooth? So that is the difference. I mean, unless you want like a slope in your mountain or whatever, but this is a how-to on texture. So I just want to show you what will happen if you wind up pressing hard. Alright, now I'm just scooping. I'm going to press hard here because I'm running out of this paint that I mixed. And also I want this to have like a misty area underneath it. Alright, so I'm just pressing hard underneath. And I'm just following the shape of the mountain. That's all I'm doing. Right, so I'm smushing all this. And I'm smushing all this because I want it to look like it's like in the distance. In the distance, God is watching us. Wasn't that a Bette Midler song? In the distance, right? Way back when, like eons ago. Like eons ago. So, and you could totally play with this and have fun with this, right? So I'm just going to pull it out. Do a little smush there, right? Do the shapes. And remember that sponge making that texture before? Like, so when that dries, if you push paint onto it, it's going to leave separation in here because it dried with all those little bumps and stuff. So let's say I wanted to put a rock, right? So I'm going to grab the black and the blue. I'm going to grab every color on my palette again. Every color. We're just doing every gosh darn color there is. Smashing it around. Keeping it separated. Adding more black. Whatever colors we want. Alright. And you want to do like a rock. Now when you go to glide this knife, there's like bumps on my canvas. So it's going to turn around and have like these little bumpy areas and create texture for you because there's literally bumps on the canvas. So I'm going to give you a close-up in a second. Just want to cut that out a little bit there. Okay, so I'm going to give you a close-up on that. Yes, yes, Lori, you got it. Love you. Hello, Lori. How you doing, honey? So, see the little bumpies? See those little bumpies right there? That's because the sponge created bumpies. And the paint just went on top of the bumpies because I didn't press hard to really smash it in there. So, even though you're making grooves and you're making different things and you're making texture, you're actually doing a light touch. And Yolanda, you do not have a palette knife, right? Well, I want to show you guys something. You don't need a palette knife. 6,000%. I'm wiping this off. So to clean this, I just dipped it in my water and now I'm wiping it on my paper towel. And that's how you can clean your knife a little quickly. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. And you don't need a palette knife, lovey-dovey. Darlene, you keep getting kicked off. Oh, man. Maybe leave and, I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. If any of you are tech savvy, tell Darlene how to fix that. Tell Darlene how to fix that. I have no idea. Okay, all you need is a hard piece of cardboard. You can do it with a credit card too, but a credit card, you might have a credit card doesn't bend or give really. They're really stiff. So because you got to be careful with the credit card about the pressing hard, because see how these palette knives have give and they bend and they move, right? So you can totally like do a press in like this. It's not just like scraping with a stiff object. So if you do a piece, index card's good. Index card. This was like actually off of gift bags. Off of gift bags I got this. Your husband's pocket knife. That works, Debbie. But again, like I said, you gotta watch. If it doesn't have any bend, if it doesn't have any play in it, you might wind up getting frustrated because, yes, cardstock, you got it, hon. They had all these Dad's Day gift bags that were like 75% off, and they were the cutest colors, and this was the only thing they had on them that was Dad, so I just took it off. But then I lost my dad, and I didn't feel right in throwing them out, so, and I was like, oh, I could show these guys about the texture with them, so that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So you just take your little piece of cardboard, and it's the same thing you did before. So let's put our cabin in. All right. So let's put our cabin in. We're gonna make a cabin. Okay. So grabbing my cardboard, I'm gonna kerplunk it in my mess right here. Kerplunking. There it is. See the separation of color on here. Thanks, Lori. Thank you. And I'm just gonna pull. And you're going to get that texture. Okay? And I'm going to grab it again, and I'm just going to pull. But see how I can bend it? So I can do a nice pull with it, and it stays nice and like flat on the canvas. So that's another thing. Remember when we did the wood? Remember when we did the wood and we were able to create the wood to have texture? It's the same exact process. It's the same process. And since there's texture on this canvas by doing the sponge, it's actually going to break up even a little bit more. But I'm literally just pulling, and I'm leaving it alone. So if there's anything you learned tonight, if there's anything you learned tonight, leave it alone. That one on the left looks like it's floating. Oh, my rock? Yeah, because I didn't fix it yet, Lori. Jeez. Jeez, give a girl a minute, huh? Oh, I didn't fix it. I just plopped it on there. All right. So if there's anything you need to learn, you need to leave it alone. So, and then I could pull up from the bottom, just like that. All right, and I'm just dipping in that paint. And eventually the cardboard is going to get goopy. It is going to get goopy on you. So then you just tear a new piece. You got it, Darlene. What? You got it, sweetie. And when you want it to do, like the stripes in our beach houses. The stripes in our beach houses, this is how we do them. See that? So I am pressing with the cardboard, but it's a flimsy stock, so it's not going to mush that much together. And you'll be able to get those streaky lines in there. But that is like the texture as it would be with wood. But if you notice, I keep just making a new line, and I'm leaving it alone. Okay? Because if I start brushing over this, if I start trying to brush over this, it's going to lose all that separation. And now I'm just going to come in and just tap lightly. Just going to do some light taps just to fill in the center. Just to fill in the center a little bit. Just some little light smushes filling in the center here. Because the cardboard's getting soft. And then I could take the edge and I could, you know, do one of those. But like I said, see how the more I play with it, the more I'm losing that separation of colors. Because that's what happens. The paint starts to blend with itself. Alright? So what I want to show you is how we do the roof. So I got to take the brush back out because the paint party is going to just, we're not going to use all this nutty stuff for the paint party. We're going to use the paintbrush. Okay, so I'm going to take Big Boy back out and I want to show you for All Things Beachy on Friday. That's why I'm teaching you texture tonight, because All Things Beachy has a lot of texture stuff in it, right? The siding, the roof, see that? So, and that is all done with a paintbrush. So I'm going to show you how to do the roof like the beach houses are with your paintbrush. All right, so I'm swirl tap dabbing Big Boy again. And I'm going to make a big messy pile. So when your pile starts to get mixed together, don't keep grabbing from that pile. You have to do a new mix. Okay? Because if your colors aren't separated on your palette, they're not going to be separated on your canvas, and then you're not going to get texture. Okay? So Lori, she mentioned my floating rock. So let's fix the floating rock. Okay, Lori, I'm going to fix the floating rock for you. The floating rock. And we could fix our little mountain here, our little rock formation. So it's just, Big Boy's just wet. He's just wet, and I can come in and I could pull on all this paint because it was on here thick. I could pull on all this paint and I could soften out all these edges because the paint was on here thick doing the texture. Okay, so you just soften out all your edges, and we can go in later and add some grassy pieces, and they won't look like they're floating anymore. Alright, so do the roofs, right? To do the roofs, it's the same process. It's the same process except you're using a brush. Okay? So I'm going to grab all those colors again. White, yellow, red, blue, some black. Alright, I'm going to smash, smash, smash. See what we come up with. Alright. I don't know what that is, but we're going with it. It looks kind of purpley. Needs some more yellow to be brown, but it doesn't matter to me. Now I'm going to wipe my... Lori's all in from the for the floating rocks. I love it, 6,000%. They still kind of look like they're floating because I didn't do anything to set them in place. So now I'm going to wipe my brush off. Okay, so we're going to wipe our brush off and get all of that paint that's in the brush that's all smushed together. Okay, we don't want any of that smushy paint. No smushy paint. No smushy paint. And I'm going to kerplunk in my pile, my undermixed pile. And for your roof, all you're doing is you just do like a little square, like that. And then you do another square going in another direction. Alright, and then you kerplunk again. So when you do, for All Things Beachy, let me find my center, find my center, find my center, make my point, boop, right? Make a little guideline for myself, okay? And literally I'm just kerplunking and doing a dash, and kind of almost like basket weave. But you have to, you can't do like 6 dashes because you're not going to get the separation of color in all of your dashes. If you do, you have to turn around and wipe your brush off and then kerplunk in that messy mixture again. Okay, because if you try to do, just notice I'm flipping my brush around too, taking the paint from both sides of the brush. If you try to do all your dashes, I'm just filling in the little spaces in between. Filling in the little spaces. Then I'm going to wipe my brush off again, kerplunk again. And I'm just going to go along the bottom here and just fill in to get the cut along the bottom. Okay? And that is how, with your paintbrush, would you do an iceberg the same way? Yes, Darlene. There's also more I'm going to do to this mountain. Yeah. But iceberg is the same concepts, except you're using blue and white and gray and blacks. You're just using frozen colors. That's all. Hi, everybody. So, see the separation of color in my brush strokes? And see how it's kind of like a messy basket weave? And see how that created the texture on the roof, like it's a hatch roof, or thatch roof? Thatch? Something like that. Anyway, alright, so that's how All Things Beachy is going to work out. Alright, and I'm going to take my brush, and now I can come in here, and I'm just going to dab with my brush, and I could fix up my sides, fix up my bottom if I want to. And there is your, that's basically what your beach house is going to be on Friday. Thatched. Thank you. Alright. So, that being said, now, what else did I want to show you? Oh, okay. I want to show you adding texture with the knives when, you ever see the people, they're like, looks like they're slicing with the knife and cutting and doing like all these little scraping things. So I'll show you what the deal is behind that. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to swirl tap that big boy. And I want to show you like a lot of people do this with the fan brush, but you can attain the same thing with your flat brush, and you can 6,000% attain it with fluffy. We've done it. Okay? So, I'm going to show you with the flat brush. Alright? I'm going to show you how to do your smushing. Smushing. Because when we smush, we're creating texture. All those paintings that we've done with the smushing, I just flattered myself in the head. All those paintings we've done, let me dry that off. All those paintings that we've done with the smushing is creating texture. Okay, so the hardest thing is to know when to leave it alone. Okay, so yeah, I just totally splashed myself in the face. Okay, so big boy, blue, yellow, white, all separate on my brush. I'm going to grab some more yellow, just like that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a dab, just to make sure it's in the area of color that I want it to be. Okay, and then I'm going to come up in here and I'm going to lay in like the grassy areas to set the mountain in place. So I'm just dabbing. Now what's cool, close up, sorry, earthquake. Earthquake and close up. Cynthia, I'm so technical, right? I'm crazy technical. It's just, it's, I don't understand why people put really big words to simple things. We're smushing people. So I have the paint on here. It's all separated on here. And I'm just going to do little taps in and out like this. And when it starts to get to be the same color throughout the taps, I'm going to wipe my brush off, and I'm going to kerplunk it in that little mess pile I made. And I'm going to back in and do some more taps. Now, if your mess pile is all mixed on your palette, then you have to turn around and you know, grab your colors. Now, you don't have to make a mess pile. You can totally go for broke and just do blue, yellow, white, just like that, and see what happens. See what happens. And I'm just tapping. I'm just tapping and going like this. That's all I'm doing. Okay? Just tapping. And I'm going to kerplunk again. White, yellow, blue. Just kerplunking. That's all I'm doing. Kerplunking. Oh, that was a lot of blue. See that? And I'm just going to tap. I'm just tapping. Okay? That's all I'm doing. And adding in this little grassy area, okay? And then, you know, you can turn your brush around and use the paint that's on the other side, right? And then it's going to look like, you know, it's going to look like grass and greenery and everything else that has all these fun little things going in it. And it doesn't look flat, and it doesn't look smooth. So, it looks like you can reach out and touch it, the way April said. It looks rough and three-dimensional, as some of you other family members said. Okay, and all it is just tapping. Thank you, Cynthia. It's just tapping with the mess on here. When it starts to become all one color, wipe your brush off. Keep your brush moving. If you notice, I'm doing this sweeping motion like this, and now it's starting to become one color. So I got to wipe my brush off and just kerplunk again. Okay, just kerplunk again. And, you know, let the brush do the work. Looks like you did a lot of work, right? You didn't do nothing. We didn't do any work. We didn't do a darn thing. Okay, and then I could come in here, tap over here a little bit. I can tap in where this rock is over here. Okay, so another thing you can do is I'm grabbing white, yellow, blue on my brush. Another thing you can do is you can do like little flicks, right? Our little flicks. But when you do the flicks with all the different colors on your brush, you get different colors flicking upward like that. So I'm going to fill this in with flicks because I want to show you what the people do with those palette knives. Okay, so we're going to do flicks on here. And notice I'm jumping around. I'm not going over the same spot. I'm working my way down, and we're not. Now I'm just pressing hard and getting the excess paint out of my brush because it really doesn't matter what's going on right now. So I'm just kind of smashing and getting all that excess paint out of my brush. So I'm not too concerned with anything. I just didn't want to waste the paint, and I wanted to smooth my areas. So thank you so much, Robin, for the stars. You're amazing. So people with the palette knives, and you can do this with your husband's pocket knife. Hello, 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 Robin. You can do this with your husband's pocket knife. You can do this with your credit card. You can do this with whatever you want to do it with. I'm grabbing this guy, and literally you're just pressing with the point and cutting in. And wow, this paint dried fast. Holy smoly. Hold on. The paint has to be wet for it to work. Wow, that paint dried like super fast. Told you it was hot in here. It wasn't just my hormones. Let me put some more paint on here. Right? Let me put some more paint on here. The paint doesn't lie. Nice and wet. Okay, let me get some more layers of paint on here. Boop, boop, boo, doo, boo. Alright, just got to do it while the paint's wet. Alright, now I'm going to take my my knife, and all you do is you just scrape and cut, and it adds, I'll give you a close-up in a minute. It's really hard to see because they're really small. They're like really, really, really small. But you can do this scraping and cutting, and it adds all these little breakages in there. And I'll show you the close-up in a minute, but literally you can hear me. Just make sure you don't poke through your canvas, because that would not be good. That would not be good. So here's your, can you see all the scrape marks in there? And see how it makes it look like little grassy, weedy pieces. Thank you so much for the stars, Jinsey. Thank you guys so much for the stars. I really appreciate it. You all warm my heart. See how it looks like little grassy pieces, and it breaks up the colors even more and adds the texture to it. All right, that's literally all they're doing. All those fancy pants people, they're fancy pants. Literally all they're doing is scraping with a flick motion through wet paint. And it's going to scrape the paint off and leave these grooves and texture pieces. That's all they're doing. Okay? 6,000%. That's all they're doing. So, I want to show you guys, because it is going to be with All Things Beachy. Thank you guys so much for the love. Thank you so much for the stars. My PayPal link is attached. Venmo and PayPal I also do. If you need to watch the replay of this, it's on my YouTube channel. I'll share my YouTube channel link right now, if this thing will let me. Oh, that was PayPal. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Hold on. I seriously hit the wrong button. Let me try that again. I'm not really good with buttons, guys. All right, there we go. There's my YouTube. All right, guys, and subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe, and Instagram and TikTok and all the happy stuff that I'm on. Okay, so I wanted to show you the stripe in the houses and how you can do texture, because I told you to do light touches, and I told you to leave it alone, right? I told you all these things. And then I'm having you draw stripes, right? So these houses have stripes on them. So how are we going to do that when you just told us to leave it alone and not play with it? Right? Right? That's the question of the evening right there. How are we going to do that when you told me to leave it alone? Well, I'm going to show you. Alright, I'm going to show you. So, I'm going to swirl tap that big boy. And let's put some stripes on our cabin over here. Okay, okie dokie, smoky pokies. Alright. Oh, I didn't do roll call yet. So, if you guys are practicing along with me, ketchup mustard a little bit. Do a little ketchup mustard time. Right? Lots of cool things on here. Lots of textures going on. We got texture in the sky, the ground, grasses, weeds, rocks, cabins, all sorts of textures going on. So, some people love it, some people hate it. There's other way. I'm going to show you the stripe, and then I'm going to actually show you some things where you're actually doing the texture by putting on a lot of paint. See my trick before? Anybody just chiming in? Look, see? I can't bend my arm that way. Wait, there we go. See? Look at that. Anyway, the impasto, I don't know. Is Lisa V still on here? She knows the word. And there's also there's also mediums you guys can get that will make your paint like gel-like. There's mediums out there that, like, when you press, like, if you press the knife on it and pull. What did I do? I don't know. What did I do? I didn't do anything. when you press the knife on it and pull upwards, it makes a little peak. Hi, Christine. How are you, sweetheart? It makes like a little peak in the paint. Okay. So, there's another one that makes it like paste. So when you're painting, it's really thick. And it's like painting with paste. Okay. So there's ways to, like April was saying, it looks like you can touch it. Well, there's ways to manipulate the paint. Oh, what did I do, Jinsey? Yes, this is paint on my arm when I was pouring oh, I feel so faint. Yes, Lisa V, thank you. Lisa, tell them all about the different mediums and what they're called, please, if you don't mind. You're like the you're the fancy stuff expert. I love you. Yes, Darlene, you can do that. You can do baking soda and Elmer's glue and water because that makes it like a slime. There's lots of things. Yeah, you're my expert for fancy stuff because I don't play with that stuff. I own it. Oh no, Jinsey, no. Okay, I got you, sweetie. Yeah, no, I poured you weren't here when I did my oopsie. I poured the red paint and I got it everywhere. It's paint, sweetie. I didn't hurt myself. Yeah, it's just red paint. That's why I'm looking like a Halloween character. So I know there's like paste, there's a gel, there's all sorts of stuff. So Lisa V, if you could share that, that would be great. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the stripe, and I'm going to show you how to put the paint on to actually do the impasta. I'll never get that word right. But I'm going to do a roll call. We got Gloria in the house. And, yeah, not a burn. Gloria's in the house. April's here. Tina B. And I have Gloria twice, but maybe there's two. I think there's two. Yolanda and Joanne and Peggy and Jinsey and Rosemary and Debbie and Sue and Marie and Donna. And Robin is here. And Lisa V. And Sue Elizabeth and Carolyn and Darlene and Katie and Tasneem and Cynthia. So, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing well, hanging out, having fun, painting weird stuff. So, those of you that want to see, somebody asked me about, Tina B, you want to see underpainting. All right, underpainting. I did say I was going to show some of that tonight, didn't I? All right, underpainting. Underpainting is a lot of me talking than actually showing you the deal. And I can show you the deal in 2 seconds. So, I don't know, Peggy. I have no idea. It might be a watercolor thing. I'm not really sure. Underpainting, which I'll grab the painting for Friday. Underpainting is, you know how we paint in layers? You know how we do everything in layers? Right? I always have you guys map, and then I say we do it all in white, and then I tell you to grab white and the color you're making the object, and then I say you can go in and just do the color of the object, how everything's layers. Okay, so what underpainting is that instead of grabbing the color that is going to be the color of the object, you're grabbing darker colors or lighter colors to create darker and lighter areas. So, I don't know if you can see in this painting, but do you see right there in the golden sand how there's blue under that? See the blue areas? See those little blue areas peeking through? There's a big one over here. See that blue area peeking through like that? Okay, so that's done with underpainting, and what it does is it creates shadows and darker and lighter areas. Shadows and darker and lighter areas in your final color. That nobody, it's like a It's just like a little trick, you know. Nobody, and what's weird about it is that you're going to be using colors that aren't a part of the original the color you want it. Like blue, right? I'm making a gold sandy beach, and I painted blue under it. All right? So, underpainting is exactly that. So what you want to do is, I'll do a piece down here. We'll do a piece right here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Big Boy. I'm going to swirl tap that Big Boy. And I'm going to grab just blue paint. Right? Because I already have a base on here. This is like if I had the white with the color. So I'm grabbing just blue paint. And I'm going to grab just the blue. Alright? I'm grabbing just blue. And whatever else is on my palette here. But for the most part, it's just blue. Alright? And what happens is you let that dry a tick. Right? It doesn't have to be completely dry. And now I'm going to grab, I'm out of yellow. Hold on a second. So I'm going to grab my yellow. Refilling. I'm going. When you paint with texture, you go through a lot of paint, guys. Just a little heads up. A lot of paint. A whole lot of paint. A whole lot of paint. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my white and my yellow and my red. Right, and I'm going to smash over here. And I'm going to come over here, and when I add that, okay, it's going to make some areas lighter, it's going to make some areas darker, and obviously it's going to pick up the blue. Okay, so then you just kind of sweep in some of the color you want your thing to be. Then you let it dry. Alright, now we're going to let it dry. Alright, so as that's drying, I'm going to show you the stripe. Okay? So, to do the stripe is kind of like one stroke. You guys know one stroke where people always do the flowers and the petals and the leaves, and they load the brush up and then they just pull the brush and it does all these fancy things for them. Okay? It's the same exact method. It's the same exact method. So I'm going to swirl tap that Big Boy. I'm going to swirl tap that Big Boy. And I'm going to grab yellow over here. It has some white in there. I'm going to put yellow on this side of my brush. And I'm going to put red on this side of my brush. Okay, see that? Red and yellow on the sides of my brush here. And I'm going to do one sweep. Alright, now, I want the red under the roof because the red's the darker color. So I'm going to make sure that when I put my brush on here, the red's on top. I'm going to line it up, and I'm just going to pull. Just going to pull. And I flip my brush over, and I'm going to pull back the other way. And now you have stripes of the other colors. You have the texture coming through from this being underneath. Again, this is kind of like underpainting too. Okay, guys? So, obviously, if I'm making a red and white house, normally we would have white underneath it, right? To get the red and white. Get red and... Bleh. Let me try that again. If we're making a red and yellow house, usually I had you guys paint it white, then do yellow and white, then do red and white, and then do red, and then do yellow. Okay? But with underpainting, if you want to give it depth, if you want to give it depth, that's it. If you want to get, I'm trying to be fancy, and there's nothing fancy about it. If you want to give it depth, you could have the underpainting be something different. So with the brown, see how the brown's coming through? So now it literally looks like it was a wood house that somebody painted red on and painted yellow on. And it's been there a minute. It's been there a minute. It looks a little more realistic. Okay, now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to kerplunk in red again on the one side. And I'm going to kerplunk in yellow on the other side. And I just do it again. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to line my red up so it's underneath my yellow, and I'm just going to pull. Just like that. And then I'm going to flip my brush over and pull the other way. And leave it alone. Remember what we were talking about? Leave it alone. Because if you play with this, they're going to blend together and you won't get that variation. You won't get that realistic look. You won't get the textured parts of this splitting up and being different colors. Okay? You won't get any of that if you play with it. Alright, now I'm going to wipe my brush off because they're starting to mix on my brush. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. So a lot of this, like to do the stripes and stuff like that, and you still want it to look textured, the underpainting totally works with that. Having this be a textured background underneath it all. Since yellow and red are see-through, I have to grab clean red paint. I'm grabbing a lot of paint tonight, guys. Alright, red, do not splatter all over me. Oh my goodness. I only grabbed a little bit because I didn't want to be wearing it again. The pump probably has a big old chunk in it somewhere. So I only grabbed a little bit. Alright, so yellow on the other side. Yellow and red. Here we go. I'm going to make sure the red is facing upwards. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to go on the other side of my brush and pull back. Okay? And that's the process. And if it starts to mix on your brush, see the perfect split between the two colors? If it starts to mix on your brush, you'll just have to clean your brush off. You just have to clean your brush off. That way it doesn't get all smushed together. And so doing this is the way that you can still have your house looks like it has texture, but it looks like that you decided to paint it 15 years ago, some fun colors, and now it's just getting weathered now, right? It's just looks like it's weathered and it's old, right? Like you can actually reach in there and grab the siding off of it, right? Okay, so, and back over to here, since this is dry, or pretty much dry with the underpainting. I got red and yellow on here already, so I'm going to grab my white. I'm going to grab my yellow. Alright, make a nice beach color. See that? Nice pretty beach color. Red, yellow, and white. And come over here. And I'm just going to sweep lightly. Again, thank you, Tina B, for asking about the underpainting, because underpainting adds depth and texture too. Okay, so thank you for reminding me about that, because I was totally forgetting about all that. Okay, so I'm grabbing, just loading up my brush now, and you can make it so you can see it, or you can cover it to where is only a hint of it. It's totally up to you how you want to do it, okay? So I'm going to wipe my brush off. And this blue is still a little wet under here. That's why it's poking through. Yes, yay, Tina. Good job, Tina. Good looks. Okay, so it's still a little wet. That's why there's blue coming through. But I'm just going to sweep with the peach color now with a very light touch. You guys noticing the theme tonight, right? Light touch, leave it alone, all those good things. Okay, so I'm going to sweep with a light touch. And now your sand, or whatever this is, sand pit, okay, has more depth to it. And when the blue dries even more, I can go back in and add more color on top of this. And it's going to look like the painting from Friday. Lisa V, you can never leave anything alone. That is the key, sweetheart. Okay, so, I think I showed you guys everything I wanted to show you. Since somebody mentioned icebergs, I will show you how to do the colors on the mountain. I do have a how-to mountain. Easy does it. You got it, Jinty. I do have a how-to mountain rocks and boulders out there on my YouTube channel. So if you want to learn how to paint mountains and cliffs and rocks, I have a video on the YouTube channel that teaches that. It's one of the first videos I've ever done. So you can check it out. I'm going to show you how to put on this mountain, because it is a way to add more texture to the mountain, because we're going to make the paint break apart. Lisa V says, yes, your mountains came out great that day. Yeah, that was, wow. Do you realize how long ago that was? That was like insane long time ago. And Tina B, I'm so glad you're on here tonight, because I was thinking about you the other day, because, you know, with the whole change that you just went through. And I'm glad you're on here tonight, and I'm glad you're doing good. Okay? So, because I love you all, and you all warm my heart, and we all need prayers for one thing or another. And, you know, we do it together as a family. So I'm glad that you're doing okay. All right. So mountain. Yes. Very long time ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long time ago, but it was a long time ago. Okay. I need clean white paint. Da, 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 grabbing clean white paint. And guys, this is your practice session. So 6,000%, ask me whatever you want to ask me. If you need me to show you something, 6,000%, ask me to, you know, let me know. Because I would have totally forgot. Tina B reminded me of the underpainting. So, and there's no, you guys are all at different levels, so there's no dumb questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll say I don't know it. But somebody else might, right? Lisa V might. Or Tina might, or Jincy might. Somebody. Last Monday you got a fever, but you're doing better. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're doing really well, sweetheart. All right, so somebody else might have the answer. Okay? So there's no bad questions. And if you don't ask it, I can't answer it. This is the first here. I love how you teach, and I love your personality. I'm really enjoying this live. Thank you so much, Kelly. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Hello, Kelly. Everybody give Kelly a warm Eve's Creations family. Welcome. What? Welcome to the fam, sweetie. Welcome to the fam. All right. So, we're grabbing, I call this the Bob Ross palette knife because it was the one he used all the time. Did you guys know that in his videos, his palette knives are black? And people were actually trying to find the black palette knife, and nobody could find them. No, Jincy doesn't have the answers. We'll figure it out together, Jincy. There's always Google. He painted them black because the camera lights would reflect off of them being silver. See how you can see my lights in here? So that's why they were black. Yeah, just a little fun fact for you there. Okay, so I'm grabbing the palette knife. And like I said, you can do it with cardboard. You guys want me to do it with the cardboard? I'll do both. I'll do both. All right, I'll do it with the palette knife first. Okay, so palette knife, white paint. Okay, I'm just dipping the tip in there. See that? Just on the edge there. Okay, and an extremely light touch. And see how I'm holding my knife, and I want it to follow the direction of my mountain. And with an extremely light touch, all of this texture. Let me give you a close-up. All these little chunks and pieces and texture that I put on the canvas, this paint is going to jump. Like, remember when it jumped around with the spongy pieces? It's going to jump around with those texture pieces on here. All right, so just on the little lip right there, I'm going to hold it to where it's not completely flat, a little bit of an angle. And I'm just going to come up here and I'm just going to pull. And it's going to do all that breakaway. I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to pull through again. And when you do your pull, now I'm just going to play right here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it alone after this. I'm going to play right here. When I did that first pull, it was actually a little too light. So, but it's always better to start off lighter with your touch and gauge from there if you have to press a little harder or not. Alright, so I'm going to come up here and say there's some more snow or whatever this is living here. Again, not completely flat, a little bit of an angle. And then I flatten the brush out as I pull the knife. And you can gauge how hard you pull. You can gauge how much pressure you put on. And then if you want to do a little bit of a scrape, just here and there, just to kind of maybe fill in a little space or something, you can do that. And bada bing. Bob Ross wins hands down, so it doesn't matter. He wins. That's the whole reason I'm painting, because I watched Bob Ross when I was 12 years old, and that's why I paint. Okay, so I'll show you with the piece of card. You can do the same thing with the cardboard. Okay, so if you don't have this stuff at home, you got a piece of cardboard laying around somewhere. I'm sure you do. Go in your wrapping paper box. I'm sure there's a card stock in there somewhere. Some birthday card you forgot to send out or something. Alright, so I got my cardboard, and it'll work the same exact way. So I'm going to dip the edge into my white paint. And you know what this is good for, guys? I'm not going to paint a complete one. But you know what this is really good for, this cardboard trick? Birch trees. Doing birch trees. So if you want to do a birch tree, this cardboard is really good for that, because you can turn around and here, I'll show you on the house. You can just turn around and do a little like this, and you get all that separation of the color, and then you dip the card in the black. You dip the card in black and go the other way, and you have the textures of a birch tree. I'm going to dip it into my mess from before. I don't know what color this is. But you can dip it into whatever dark color you want and curve that way. And you will have a birch tree with all the texture in a birch tree. And then you can go in and add your little black lines and knots and all that kind of stuff that a birch tree would have. So that's what the card's really good for doing a birch tree too. See that? So I'm just doing a little curved swoop, and I'm getting all this texture without even trying hard. Just a little piece of cardboard. That's it. That's it. Alright, back to the mountain. Alright, so I'm going to take my piece of cardboard and I'm going to rip it because I just did the birch tree with the one end. So, let me get a piece that is user-friendly. You did a birch tree with the pull string? I've never done a pull string. I have no idea how to do a pull string. Couldn't even tell you. No idea. I know what I know, and that's all I know. I don't, honestly, fam, I don't have, like, I don't, like, I've been doing this art for like, I have stuff to play with. I just don't get a chance to play with it. So, it's all good. Piece of cardboard. I'm going to dip it in this white paint right here. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. See that? Alright. And I'm going to come over here to my mountain. Close up. I like the little sparkle. Right? And then I did like this line. See that? It's fun. It's fun to play. So orange is the theme of the day. I got these this palette kit, this palette set, and it literally had every color. Thank you, Tina. I'm excellent at what I do. It had every color, and the palette has all the colors to go with that theme. So the palette for this had all these colors in it, and the sparkle. And it was like a set of 6, so it has a palette for orange, blue, purple. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm gonna be playing. Lord knows what I'm gonna look like when you guys pop on. That's for darn sure. No clue. All right, white paint on my cardboard. Same thing, guys. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna create a ridge right here. Okay, and I'm just going to pull. That's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then I could do a little bit of a push, right? Just to put little whatever's in there. And then leave it alone. Aw, Jinsey, thank you. I'm moving my paint to my pretty face. Oh, you're so sweet. And then leave it alone. Alright? And then mountains would have the shadows as the as texture. So I'm going to grab that dark paint from before, all different colors. See that? It's all different colors. And I could come in here and I could just do a light pull and add the shadow of the mountain. That's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. You guys can totally do this. Oh, thank you, Darlene. You guys can totally do this. I have the utmost confidence in you. 6,000%. You can get a piece of cardboard, you could kaplunk it in paint, and you can figure out what pressure to press so you get the effect that you want to get, and it will work. It will work. Okay, white paint, and I'm just going to pull. Just like that. Light touch, and then leave it alone. You can play a little bit, just play a little bit, not a lot. Alright, not a lot. You just play a little bit and then stop playing with it. Alright, because you're going to lose everything you worked on. And our, Lori's the cosmetologist. Maybe she could give us a lesson. Yeah, that would be nice. There's someone on here that was watching, and she sells Mary Kay. Oh, her name was Cynthia or Cindy. Hi, Lori. So our underpainting with our beach. I'm going to swirl, tap, dab, big boy. And I'm going to grab that peach from before. Right, because you're going to need this for Friday. I'm going to grab that peach from before. And we're going to go over this. And it's going to look like it has more depth to it. And no one's going to turn around and say, your beach looks blue. But it gives it a bit of a richness to it. Instead of looking so flat, it gives you these darker areas. It gives you these lighter areas. It gives you all these things that you don't have to change the color. You don't have to change the peach color to create all of those darker and lighter areas because you did the underpainting. And the same with our stripes over there. You don't have to change the colors because what you did underneath is going to show through. All right, so you don't always have to paint. You always don't have to start with white, then a layer, then a layer. You know what I mean? If you want it bold and bright and in your face, 6,000%. It's white, the paint in white, and then the paint, at least. But if you want to have like depth and texture, texture is the name of the game tonight. And you want to have maybe look old, a little more realistic than poppy, underpainting. Okay, guys? All right, 6,000%. All right, guys, that's it. Unless I missed something. But you got what you need. You can do this. You guys have a piece of sponge sitting at your kitchen sink. You have a piece of cardboard sitting in that, you know, those Christmas cards you never mail out. You have your paint. You have your big boys. You have your fluffies. If you don't, you can order them. And you'll be all set. And you have the YouTube link for your replay. If you missed it, 6,000%. Thank you, everybody, for the stars tonight. If you send me support and you want Mr. Nifties for free, because they are a gift from me to you, I don't have the paint kits anymore, Darlene. I just do the brush sets. I'm playing with the idea of the paint kit. I'm not sure. I might do an upgraded one. I don't know. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for the paint kit, but I have the brush sets. Okay, so Lori, we were talking about me playing with my make-em-ups. So Jinsey was mentioning that you're a cosmetologist. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Like I said, if you send me support and it's $3 or more, private message me, which there is a message button right on the top of my Facebook page. Private message me your address, because if I don't have your address, I can't mail you your free gift. I can't do it. There's just no way for me to do it. Nope, because I need to know where you live, and I don't save the addresses. I take a picture of it, and then I write it on my envelope, and then I delete it. So I do not save them. I don't have them. I'm not doing anything with them. I'm throwing them out. So there's no privacy statements or anything, because I'm not doing anything with it. No ESP. No ESP. Buy some mustard ketchup squeeze bottles and just pump what you got as the paint is ordered. Right, Tina B. My sister had the same idea, but I don't know. I'm overthinking it is what I'm probably doing. I should just order the same exact things I ordered before to put the paint kits together, but because I want them to remain affordable. But I don't know. We'll see. But you guys can get the paint. www.dickblick.com. There you go. You guys can get the paint. You can order the paint. And it's not expensive. It's not fancy. So you can 6,000% order the paint. And then the brushes I use for every single video. Except like a night like tonight, I show you different things. But for all the paint parties, you got your brushes. Yay! Yes, Lori got her brushes. Now you just need to get canvas. And the paints have been on sale. Yes, Jinsey. You got it, Tina B. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely 6,000%. So, You guys will be all set, and you can do every video I've ever made. Because it's been the same brushes ever since, and it's been the same colors for every single one. Because I want you guys to be able to create. I don't want you to have to worry about not having the right brush or not having, you know, the same paint. So, there you go. Alright? So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I love you all. So, this Friday is All Things Beachy. It's our beach houses. Next Friday is our pirate ship. So excited. So excited. So, with our shark attack. Yeah, and Jincy's saying the paints have been on sale. So, next Friday is our pirate ship. Dun dun, dun dun. So, we have that next Friday. And then the following Friday is Christmas in July. What? Jincy wanted Cardinals. So, there you go, sweetheart. And if anybody has any requests for anything, send it to me. I'll do it. I'll do anything. I'll paint anything, guys. I'll show you guys anything. Anything you want to see or learn or do, I'll show you. I don't have a problem with that. $6,000%. I'll show you guys. Yes. Alright, so y'all warm my heart. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to see you guys on Friday. Same bat channel, same bat time. And have fun and go create, okay? Alright, I love you. Mwah. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Lori, I have done roses. How-to flowers. The first how-to flowers I ever made, I did a rose on it. Yep. It's out there. How-to flowers. The first one. So, I definitely did a rose in that video. I did like 10 different flowers in that video because you guys were just asking me for all different ones. Good night, Jincy. Good night, everybody. All right, have fun and go create. I love you. Bye. Mwah.